My name is J.R. Carroll. I am the author of the More Than Human novels. And today we're here to talk about Will Wight's newest book, The Night, the third book in the Last Horizon series. Now, I didn't know exactly how many books this series was planned for until the last night, and I seen in the description that it's supposed to be a 6-part series. So we are halfway home now. This is going to be a non-spoiler review because the book just came out. And so what I'm going to do here is just give you a rundown of how I felt about the book, how I'm feeling about the series in general, and then maybe some nitpicks here and there, which I'm going to start off with one here. And I'm going to put the cover back up here so you can see it. Now, Will Wight is one of the most successful self-pub fantasy authors in the world. He has a hardcore fan base, which I am a part of. So when he came out with this new series, I was a little bit taken aback by the covers. Now, the covers for Cradle were very simplistic, but they just worked. They just made sense. It wasn't like they were bad, but they were just very simple covers that kind of went along with the story. And so when he came out with this new series and the captain, I was like, cover's kind of goofy, like, let's be honest. And then the engineer, I actually like the engineer a little bit better, if I'm being honest. But then when I seen this cover, I'm like, what are we doing here, Will? Like, I know no shots at the cover artist. I'm sure Will asked for this specifically, but the cover looks like CGI from like Beast Wars in the late 90s. And maybe that is a tactic that he's doing on purpose, so that once he's done with the series, so the last book in the series comes out, maybe he's going to do like a special edition for all these, and then they're going to look crazy cool. But that's just weird things to nitpick about. But yeah, I would expect crazy cool covers. So maybe he's holding off for the special editions. But so let's get into the story here. We're picking right up into the next section of this story, and you are going full force into it. The way this book feels to me, it definitely feels like a middle book in a series. Like I said, I didn't know it was. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention that it was a 6-part series. But yeah, this feels like we're right in the middle of Cradle. Like he's got the writing, the way he's writing, he's got it down pat. Like this is how it's gonna be. This book, like I said, action packed right out the gate. We're following, the night. We've even got this classic, like, they're practicing battle plans and leveling up, and those types of tropes that we've come to be used to with Will Wight book. And I'm telling you, you could give a book to somebody who's read all of Will Wight's books, not tell them that that this as a Will Wight book, and as soon as they started reading it, they're like, this is awfully a lot like Will Wight. I mean, he has a distinctive writing style, that has that kind of a lot of dry humor. But the way he does, I'm not a huge dry humor guy, but the way he does it here works a lot. Like you're like his timing, a comedic timing inside of novels is better than probably 90% of writers out there. Because sometimes when you try to land jokes and stuff, for some reason in fantasy books it really doesn't work well a lot of times. But he has got it dialed in, and we're ramping this story up. The stakes are climbing, and we're starting to get a little bit. I like he's got this a little bit of space opera stuff going on here, where he just reveals a little bit new powers, a little bit more tricks that the ship and some of the other crew members are able to like kind of pull out. And it's not like the like, oh, it's coming out of nowhere. Like Will does a really good job of, setting up and putting little crumbs of what people might be able to do here, might be able to do there. And there's also a little bit of internal struggle within the crew, which is why I really love like crew building. I don't know if you want to say this is found family stuff, but like I love crew building because there's always that internal struggle inside of the crew, and he does it magnificently here. If you like this series, if you like Will Wight's writing style, you might as well. I know you guys are gonna keep reading them all. So the only negatives I will say here is that it feels very similar to the last book, and it feels very similar. Like I said, if you just binged Cradle, or like if you were one of those people that just ran through Cradle and then you ran right into this series, it's gonna feel so very similar. Even though we're in space and space wizards and stuff like that, it feels very very similar. And sometimes that can kind of lull you. And if you do the audio, again, it's Travis Baldree doing the audio. Travis Baldree is amazing, but he also did Cradle. So again, if you're binging Cradle and then you jump right into here, you're gonna be like, this is very Cradle-like. The writing is very similar. He doesn't switch his writing style up very much. And then of course, Travis Baldree doesn't really switch his voices up a lot. So like he uses all like the same like five or voices or so, but it is great. If that's the worst I can say about a book, that's telling you something. Will Wight is a very technical writer. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how to plot stories out, and The Last Night, or The Night, is no different. Thank you guys. If you've come this far with me, why don't you subscribe? Make sure you like that. Check out the Discord. We can talk all things Will Wight and all things sci-fi fantasy. But more importantly, be more than human.